I can't see it all. Even if I could, it would all be great. Put your picture on my wall. It reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Turns out since 2019, the share of single men who say they're looking for dates or a relationship has declined from 61% to 50%. In 2018, 28% of men ages 18 to 30 reported they'd had no sex in the past year, compared with 18% of women of that age. The Hill report said men in their 20s are more likely than women in their 20s to be romantically uninvolved, sexually dormant, friendless, and lonely. They stand at the vanguard of an epidemic of declining marriage, sexuality, and relationships that afflicts all of young America. Among the causes, among the factors, a reliance on social media and online porn. But also, more young women are hooking up with each other or dating and marrying slightly older men, and heterosexual women are getting more choosy. Other troubling statistics about men come from a 2021 study from the Survey Center for American Life. They found the share of men who have 6 or more close friends, which in 1990 was 55%, by 2021 had shrunk by half. Meanwhile, those with literally 0 close friends, which stood at 3% in 1990, has zoomed to 15%. An expert quoted by The Hill said this disconnect can have catastrophic consequences for young men.
Someday soon, you're gonna have families of your own. And if you're lucky, you'll remember the little moments.
I'm all out of hope. One more bad break could bring a fall. When I'm far from home, don't call me on the phone to tell me you're alone.
You must never give in to despair. Allow yourself to slip down that road and you surrender to your lowest instincts. In the darkest times, hope is something you give yourself. That is the meaning of inner strength.
Are you kidding?
Having a shower? Oh, that's cute. You guys having like a shower and that together? I'm gonna drown myself.
How about
No, I just like to be happy again.
Throat has been itching so bad lately, and the thing that I think would scratch it the best
Is a 12 gauge. The only thing I lay on is the gas when I see a tree.
Person that saved your life without even knowing it.
First name Jack, last name Daniels.
You mentioned your body count.
Yeah.
Do you want to reveal that really quick right now?
I'm gonna be honest, I stopped counting at 254. So it's definitely above that.
Haram! Wait, 254?
254 is where I stopped counting.
When, and at what point, so was that 2 years ago? When did you stop counting?
That was last year in the summer is when I stopped counting.
254?
254, yes.
When did you, at what age did you lose your virginity?
Am I allowed to say that?
Is it young?
I mean, I was not 18. I was in high school. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in high school.
Being acutely lonely is as stressful as being punched in the face by a stranger when it comes to cortisol release, right? That's how deeply we are resistant to loneliness.
Is there anything I can do to help you? I'll give you a hug. Seems like you got a lot going on, man. It's all right. It's all right, man.
He's actually pretty prosperous. He's making close to $40,000 a year. But what are you laughing at? You're
How
laughing
much are you?
Very low income.
No, what do you think the average income is?
The average minimum is $100,000. That's barely making it. In California, especially too. That's like minimum wage.
A lot of these girls you meet now too are just like, you can't get anything out of them. Like it's tough to get that like emotional connection.
You talking about like just conversation, just connectedness?
Yeah, like it's just like, I feel like that's really, I'm 28 now, so like I feel like that's really more of a thing now, is like they might be hot, but if they're like dumb and like they have a boring personality,
yeah,
you're not attracted to them.
But this is what's happened. It's like social media has like made girls think that like they just have to rely on their looks.
Heavy cannabis use, meaning cannabis use more frequent than twice per week, has been associated with 4 times the risk of psychosis later in life, in particular schizophrenia and bipolar-like episodes. And all of the data point to a very clear conclusion, which is the more potent the THC concentration, the higher probability of developing psychosis or a major depressive episode or a major anxiety disorder later in life. That should be of particular concern because the risk of psychosis is going up and is likely to continue going up unless something is done to reduce frequency of cannabis use to 0 in adolescents and teens and people aged 25 or younger.
Why'd you do that, though, ma'am? You done messed up the man's career.
It's not on his record. It's not on his record.
How do you know?
It's not.
All right, what do you have? She admits to doing it, but go ahead and play it.
I mean, this your fault. I don't understand what I did to you that bad.
You don't know what you did to me that bad?
Wasn't answer my phone.
It ain't just that. It's just the that you doing. When I did the yeah, I did it out of anger. Yep, I did do that. But still, half the that you do.
So you gonna hurt me like that, though?
I said I'm gonna get the charge dropped tomorrow. But I didn't think it was gonna go that far, though. And I didn't know they was gonna charge you with that. That man said assault. He ain't say about rapper. Assault.
Yeah, it really ain't funny, because, I mean, I sat in jail for 3 days for something I didn't do. I lost my job.
That's terrible, ma'am. That is horrible.
I went down and got dropped, so they got dropped. They got dropped. The charges got dropped.
But she keeps saying they got
But
dropped.
the arrest is on his record, as he says. So if they go on the computer, the database, they say he was arrested for armed robbery. And a lot of employers, whether it's dismissed or not, they say, oh, where there's smoke, there's fire. And so many men are being criminalized for things they haven't done because people either lie on them or you get police who engage in misconduct. So they arrest people for no reason. And now you're part of that. You're part of criminalizing men who haven't done anything and then ruining their record, ruining their employment prospects. And women do this a lot, sometimes men, but women do retaliate a lot through the law.
Send her to Saudi. Let her repeat this shit.
Temporary restraining orders, they get that over an argument. Hurt the man's future, hurt his career. They don't understand. When you go into court, TRO, the prosecutor is going to give you one just by request to prevent the risk that something might happen. So all you got to do, I want to tell no ladies this because then they'll go in and do it when they want to retaliate against their boyfriends, but it's because it's enough of that going on. But don't do any of this, ladies who are watching. Do not make these, don't bring the law in on your lie. Don't bring the law in on your lie. Go to his mama and lie to his mama about him or do something. Or just lie to somebody else other than the law because you jeopardize their entire future. And so this is what you've done, ma'am. Take this $5,000, then get it off your record, all right? All right, judgment for the plaintiff. You just a fool. You need to stop it. Who you got now? Somebody that dirty enough to deal with you? No, they don't. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Oh, it's over with.
He still got to deal with me. I'm pregnant with his child now, so it doesn't matter.
We don't know that for sure.
Don't get smacked, because I'll smack the out you. Don't start that. Please
Start
don't start
something
because you're here.
Start something else.
Oh, I'm done with him. I'm done. As long as he's there for his child, that's all that matters.
What is your body count?
42.
36.
In the 40s. But
My body count when I was 14 was 7.
honestly, I lost count.
Yeah, I just don't know all of them.
How old are you?
18.
19.
Hoe phases are very much necessary.
There's 5 dudes at my house, okay? All of them trained.
I've slept with like a whole friend group. I got blacked. This guy's 20 minutes after I his best friend.
And it's been said that I've got some good.
What we gotta rate ourselves?
A 10.
10.
A 10.
Men are the least needed members of society.
I really hate it when men are like, if I'm paying all the bills, then you should at least be cooking and cleaning the house.
Rule number 1 to being a boss bitch is being a bitch.
I used to date for personality, but now I'm dating for money.
Stop dating broke boys.
Here are a list of things I expect men to do in marriage. 1, pay the rent, mortgage, and 2, to do most of the cooking.
7-figure men do go for me.
A man doesn't need to take care of me. I'm gonna have my own kids.
I have a baby, I'm keeping it this time. 5 dudes. That's what's up.
Yes.
Yo, there's no hope for us right now.
Bro, guys be acting like females. They want to speak about their day, like who cares?
Did you know that by the end of this event, 3 men in the UK will have died by suicide?
My ex-boyfriend said he would kill himself if he wasn't with me. I call him my ex because he's gone. I've been feeling grief for 2 months now.
In post-9/11 conflicts, the study found that 4 times as many U.S. service members and veterans have died by suicide than have been killed in combat.
There are better alternatives than that. Okay? Davey, I expect to hear from you in the morning.
Wait, your question was how much does she love when you gamble?
Every time I won, I gave her $10,000. A few weeks ago, when I won $33,000, what happened? I sent you 14 grand on Zelle. Another couple weeks ago, when I won $110,000, 10 grand. In the past 3 months, you're up like, on the last podcast we did, you said that he was giving you less.
Yeah, and you guys were making me sound so bad. It wasn't that he was giving me less, it's just at that time, it's like, no, you hadn't in a while, but like...
In the last year, how much money have I given you?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll say it right now. Zelle, Bankwire, I'd say $85,000.
So how much cash?
100.
You know what, Chelsea? I think you should jump.
I don't think I want to.
You don't want to? Why don't you show a little follow-through, Chelsea? Jump.
Please, I just want to get
I'm not
down.
suggesting anymore. Jump. Oh, God. The only man in the sky is me.
I love you.
Again.
I love you.
Again.
Statistically, the thing most likely to kill me is me. Suicide is the biggest killer of men under 45 in the UK.
And King Midas in reverse here. Everything I touch turns to shit. I'm not a husband to my wife. I'm not a father to my kids. I'm not a friend to my friends. I'm nothing.
Lyle, what about you? You burn yourself with cigarettes, you cut yourself, you slam your head into walls. We both know you don't deserve that, man. Lyle, wherever you're going, you are still gonna be there.
It's like just the fucking regularness of life is too fucking hard for me or something. I don't know.
You used to be nice. Or did you never used to be? Oh God. Maybe you never used to be.
The woman who caused the death of my best friend just messaged me.
He was like a brother to me, and he was one of the kindest and most awesome people that I know. The anger and the grief is still so freaking ripe in my heart even after years of therapy. Yesterday, Amy messaged me after 6 years of silence. The first thing she said? I'm sorry. She fucking admitted to randomly saying Mark's name because he was the first person she thought of. She panicked because she never had an experience in being assaulted and thought that she was out of place because most of the girls in that party had experienced sexual assault before. She told me that it was because she was young and stupid. She justified herself by saying that she never thought that it would go out of hand because the other girls promised that their conversation would be a secret. She thought that Mark wouldn't be affected because they don't know each other and have very different social circles. She was too afraid to say anything because her lie spread way too effing much for her to control it. That was the reason why she wasn't nowhere to be found during those times where everything went to hell. I asked her why she was telling me this, and she told me that she had been feeling guilty for the past 6 years and thought that it was time for her to come clean because her therapist told her so. Her family doesn't know. Her boyfriend, they've been together for 8 years now, doesn't know. Mark's family doesn't know. And all of the people who believed her didn't know. She only admitted it to me. I'm so effing angry that I can't even put it into words. This woman killed my best friend and thinks that everything will be okay afterwards? She's the effing reason a good person like Mark is now forever gone. I haven't replied to her, and I'm afraid that I would just say so many horrendous things to her. I don't want to tell Mark's dad because he's still going through grief and has spiraled deep into depression since Mark died. I'm tempted to spread our conversation online, but I know that it would drag me down to the same level as her and her friends.
Guys, let's get our passports. She's still not gonna choose you, baby. I'm sorry.
Bitch, you gonna shut your goofy goober ass up? Matter of fact, if you take off that goddamn sled powder or maybe them cum catchers, I might take your fucking series, you irrelevant piece of shit. Shut your dumb ass up. Whore bag piece of shit. Fuck.
I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me.
Divorce is a Ponzi scheme. In 2014, did you know the women that made it to the 100 richest list, only 2 made their money with their own skills? The rest, the other 98 women, divorce. Stop the cap. You ain't out there grinding and getting money. Y'all are marrying dudes. And after they've put their sweat and equity into thinking this was forever, following the 80% of women are the initiators of divorce rule, y'all ran out there, got divorced, and then took that man's, half of that man's money, alienated from his children. Stop the cap. You ain't built nothing. You came to steal and destroy. Red flag.
Surprise, the number of young single men in America is at a record high. This is why.
I think it's become a pretty well-known fact in this country, at least amongst men, that if you get married and it doesn't work out, you will lose your home, your money, your future income, most of it, and you will become a bankrupt weekend visitor to your own children. And it will absolutely destroy your life. And I know women don't like us talking about that on here, and there'll be some neurotic women with pretty much no valid point arguing in the comments, and I don't really care. I mean, if you want to be ignorant, that's great. But men are afraid to get married, legitimately. A lot of them saw what a really dysfunctional marriage looked like, and a lot of girls too. And what advantages are there even to getting married anymore? To worry about things like that? If a man is miserable, he has to walk on eggshells. Because if she leaves, or if he leaves her, he'll lose everything. Everything. He will be homeless, bankrupt, and never see his kids. And I'm not talking about the guys that don't want to see their kids. Don't get it twisted. But I think that this app makes you think that there's a lot more deadbeat dads than there really is. I think that that's actually kind of a myth. It's not as common. It's just the thing that you hear people complain about. Many dads don't get custody, and it's not because they're abusive. I know that a lot of feminists like to make that argument, but that's bullshit. There's a lot of dads that don't get any more than weekend visitation with their own children every other weekend that aren't abusive. They didn't do anything wrong. The divorce wasn't their fault. and it destroys their kids, and it creates the cycle all over again of fatherless homes and the statistics and the things that that does to children. So I think we need to have a more honest conversation about what's going on, because these men and these women that are growing up, I mean, they don't see good examples. What benefit is it to get married? Women see that all men are toxic, and men all see that women will rob them eventually if they don't want to be married anymore. So if we're going to keep letting the family court system do this to people, I mean, that's the problem right there. The American family is pretty much, nuclear families aren't anything anymore. They don't mean anything to anybody. Being in love doesn't either. It's just scary, and it's the way that it is. We have a court system that bastardizes children for profit, making the mother feel like she won something because she's getting most of his income and taking the house and the kids and everything. But really, it's her children that are losing for the mental health issues and the other risks that they're going to have for the rest of their lives. So let's start being honest about this. I know I'm not allowed to, but I'm going to anyway.
There's no way. The week I'm already back at the gym, somebody's trying to expose your boy. It says the guy beside me keeps trying to check me out. She has since deleted the story. Valerie, I was not checking you out.
Said every girl knows a guy who would do anything for her, and he's not her boyfriend.
Called simps. Wow, they have this in the dictionary now. But I'd like to give you the origin story of where the word simp comes from and what it actually means. We're going to dive deep into it. This is the late, great UGK, Southern artist, legendary Southern artist. Shout out to Bum B, rest in peace, Pimp C, who actually coined the term simp. And they had acronyms for it. Most people don't know this. These acronyms were someone idolizing, mediocre. I can't say that word, P. We all know what P stands for. Here's a further definition of the meaning of the word simp. As you can see, UGK used it in 2001. Might have used it way beyond that too, but 2001 is what we got. In the 666 Mafia feature, Sipping on Some Scissor, Pimp C reminded us to be a pimp, not a simp, and informed us he ate so much shrimp he had iodine poisoning. And for the kids that don't know, they featured in the song Big Pimpin', 2001 Jay-Z hit. Check it out.
Women are something else. You know, I don't like to talk about them for long, to be honest, because they always leave me with a strong depression. Let's keep going. What do you think about? It's just true. I don't know. I got in my feelings.
I thought there was a question following.
No. That was just facts.
Straight statement.
Yeah, that was just real life.
Never let go of me.
Male economic viability and sexual success are correlated insanely highly. It's like 0.6, 0.7, crazily high. But the correlation between female economic viability and sexual attractiveness is lower than 0. So it's actually slightly negative. So then you ask, well, what gives female status? So imagine that you have an attractive girl and a variety of relatively high status men are chasing her. Now, you might ask, well, how do they evaluate her status? And I think they evaluate her status by her ability to say no.
Feminist organizations that have done anything, for example, to challenge bias against men and fathers in the family court system?
Absolutely.
Can you please give me a list of feminist advocacy organizations that have engaged in any meaningful advocacy to address those issues? Because there are actually none.
Okay, I know that you came with your little research or whatever. I didn't come with a list of feminist organizations, but I know actively that there are women's organizations that are trying to dismantle those inequalities.
Just one name, just one
Again,
organization.
I didn't come with a list, my dude.
You want me to be the bad guy? Fine.
See, this is why I fuck with Filipino women, right? Because I used to work with them at Uniqlo. And the thing about Filipino women is that they are so sweet. They are so loving and caring until they have to snap back. That's where y'all fucking up. Don't make that side come out of them because you will regret it.
I joke about, not giving a fuck being a very good business model for me. But it's true. When you're the rare person who walks into a room with some television executive and really don't care, I'll go back to brunch, motherfucker. I don't care.
We're going to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, I'm just going to nose down and call it a night. Well, let's think about this. I got another pilot.
Wouldn't the true confident thing be to just acknowledge that you're not a 10 and being humble?
No, because you want me to say that, and I'm not gonna.
Well, you can say whatever you want.
No, I'm not going to. I'm a 10.
I'm not
I think I'm
requesting.
A 10. You guys need to get over that. I don't know why it hurts you.
No, I'm not hurt. Not hurt.
Well, you seem like a little.
Not hurt. Just trying to understand the thought process.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I believe I'm beautiful. I think every girl here is beautiful. I think every girl here is a 10.
Every girl here is a 10?
Yes.
Is every guy here a 10 too?
You know what?
Oh.
If you cheat on her once, cheat on her again. Two negatives equals a positive. Pimpalations 1 to 4.
Traits of a female narcissist. No boundaries. Hypersensitive. Childlike. Judgy. Insecure. Entitled. Grandiose. Cheats. Projects. Gaslights. Manipulation. Did I say lack of empathy? Vindictive. No boundaries. Controlling. Self-centered. Argumentative. Rage. No remorse. Lies. Superficial. Arrogant. Sarcastic. Coercive. Did I say self-centered? Envious. And for the kids in the back, gaslighting.
I like the one that says shampoo.
Dramatic footage of British Marines trying to rescue a colleague in Afghanistan has been released by the Ministry of Defence. The 4 men strapped themselves to the wings of a helicopter to try to find their colleague who went missing during the attack on the Taliban stronghold.
So continue with your point. You were saying that something about women who have a couple extra pounds on them.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Yeah.
What was your?
That's all I gotta say.
Is there like a limit to like the weight that makes them less attractive, or is it like any weight they're still a 10?
Well, I mean, like
we live in a society where Lizzo is really overweight and people think that she's a 10. Would you rate her a 10?
Yeah, I guess I think all women are a 10, to be honest.
All women.
Yeah.
But,
I think I go outside and honestly, I see 10 beautiful girls. I see a fine man every 2.5 years, if I'm going to be honest. So I go outside and I see beautiful women everywhere.
This is kind of interesting. So not all men are 10s, but all women are 10s.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have a thing against men.
No, I don't really have a thing against men.
You can be honest. You can be honest.
I love men. I don't hate men.
If the roles were reversed, they'd call them misogynistic, but you can say that and it's okay.
Yeah, I guess.
So You see a good-looking man how often? Every 2 years.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Okay, wow, that's pretty rough.
I mean, like.
You know, you keep telling me that I don't have it in me. Well, maybe not.
Dad, come check this out.
Yeah, shit. Like I said, Walter, this slang of root doesn't suit you.
Hey, it's not gonna bite you, all right? Looks like Keith Richards with a glass of water.
I
know he's sick of my money, cause every time he calls me, steady costing me. Sitting in my left, right pocket, watch this. These niggas broke boys, watch this, watch this. These niggas broke boys, watch this, watch this. I can make the whole crowd watch this. I can make it do one stop, watch this.
That bitch want a tip, that bitch want my jerk. I pull up on these hoes, I'm riding that spaceship. These hoes, they want my pole, these hoes want another dick. This bitch want young cat, Pia on the track. Give me back, tatted on the back, tatted on her neck. You can't call it back. Shawty wanna live, shawty wanna live, shawty wanna roll, shawty wanna get, shawty wanna pop, shawty wanna live. And I still pop up, and I go on drip. Shawty wanna fuck, she just wanna feel.